All right, all right. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Let's go ahead and get started here. Let's go ahead and do a mic check and make sure you guys can see me on video. If you could, just give me a yes really quick. All right, awesome. Let's go ahead and get started here. So first things first, let's talk about the ES futures. All right. First things we see, price came down into the trendy edge. It did go bid yesterday. Yesterday, I was looking for the green box, but we also know here in the room that when price is above the trendy edge, we look for it to be support until it's not. I mentioned that we had a lot of confluence in this area, and that was the trendy edge, the weekly edge. We had the line in the sand there yesterday, and we also had, I believe it was the 23.6 or maybe the 38.2. I think it was the 38.2. All right, of the Fibonacci's. And what I'm doing is measuring from this level here on a 4H or a 4 hour into the pivot high. Nothing has really changed. I understand that we're up about 24 points, but if you remember and recall yesterday, what I was looking for is chop within this area. And as long as I said, as long as price can hold that 38.2 and it does not take out the ATH or the all-time high, it was simply just a sit and wait. All right. Or just kind of, take some trades in and out for the day. All right. And you can see here the 38.2 is aligned pretty close to the trendy edge. And you can see that now the bulls are in control and continue to stay in control as long as we're staying above that trendy edge there. All right. Now, here you can see the 23.6 is also being obeyed. The way that I want to present and look at most trades today, it is Wednesday. If you remember, it's very important to understand that theta, if we're trading options, that you lose a lot of your value coming into Thursday. Today is Wednesday. And again, happy Veterans Day, right? I mean that to everybody. I'm myself am a veteran of about 21 years in the Air Force, and thank you for everybody. Let's go ahead and show you really quick what this looks like. I love to do this. I like to draw, I feel like that's really important. All right, so here's the 23.6. This is the 4H9 EMA. All right, so the way that I want to present today to any trade that you're looking at, look at the 4H. If you're above the 9 EMA, look for this to be support. Notice there's a lot of inside and up candles, probably on most things you're looking at. This is going to be your support level right in here. And as long as we can hold over on top of that 9 EMA, then we continue this trend to the upside. If for some reason that if you're looking for a 4H, you got to wait for the 4H to close. That's just my rule. All right. So if it comes down and breaks, I want to know where the candle actually ends up. A lot of people get spooked on stuff like this. And then what you'll see is price actually ends up going up. And then you have this nice inside and up formation. And then we're finally hitting my target here. Now, please understand right above here, this was the previous ATH. Okay. And if we hook around and get inside here, this is the beginning of a small supply zone. All right. And if we get in there, as long as we can hold 35.86, just be cautious in there. All right. Just be cautious about 35.86, 36.15 above there opens up the ATH again that we uh, received, I guess, right, into Monday. So we have that ATH up here around 3667. Okay, so this is the blueprint. It's been working really well. There's no reason to change it. Just understand that we are tight and in a range bound situation. Let's go ahead and look at SPY. All right, so you don't trade ES futures and you don't want to use the ES futures blueprint. This is what I'm looking at. 4H again on the SPY. Please notice, again, these targets were here before Monday even opened up. Our traders could see that we pushed up into resistance. This was a Fibonacci extension. I also teach you how to find those and actually use the right ranges to get the right targets. Okay. So looking at a 4H, we have inside and ups. We have the 9 EMA pretty confluent here. Basically, your support's going to be around here, around 354.5. If we could stay bid above there, just kind of hang out. Make sure we can take out the pre-market high. So what you want to do is you want to identify this level. So let's just say right here is going to be my mid support right in here. All right, and then I'm going to take this thing into a smaller time frame. Let's just say 30-minute. I'm going to look at the pre-market high. Okay, right around in here. I'm going to identify that. And really, this is my range right in this area. Okay, so as long as stuff is hanging out in here, I'm not too concerned. Once we go like this, then I'm interested in that long, and then I'm looking for those targets up above. So let's go back into the 4H. All right, and here we go. So if we can go bid above 357.19, look for 359.02. Same thing as ES will be in that little bear house right there. Just take caution as you're in there. Your next target above here would be around 361 and a quarter, and then above that 365. Let's go ahead and look at the Qs. I brought up the Qs yesterday. I said specifically that we are coming into my level. Again, trendy levels to the downside are support until proven otherwise. You could see we came here to the tick, and I specifically said if this starts to bid over the 4H9 EMA, you could see a nice tech bounce. I'm going to take you to tech here in a second, okay? And look at some of those Amazons, Facebooks, Apple, and so forth. All right. So for right now, we are underneath the 9 EMA. This is resistance for right now. On open, I'd like to see 284.84 hold and then go bid over the 9 before I would get long, looking for 288.9 and above that, possibly into 292. All right. Hey, thanks, Nick. I appreciate it. So let's go ahead and go over here to the IWM. All right, and so the IWM right here, support looking at 172.10, possibly a move into 177.90. So again, resistance right now, you could see that on the blue line here, 173.5. Support looking at 171.5. Same thing. Everything looks range bound between the two lines that I'm giving you almost on every chart, just like this. Okay. So again, if you want to, you could say this neutral is now right up here. All right. So right in here. And I apologize, I didn't realize that my screen was still stuck there on the entry. Okay. So again, 4H9 EMA, let it be support. Bids above 173.52, look for 177.90. Let's go ahead and go into some of the tech stocks. I do want to take a look at them. If you notice on a daily, all right, typically 2 to 3 days down on a strong stock, you're looking for some sort of bounce play. Let's go ahead and go into the daily on the 1 year. Couple things here. If you're looking for the inside and up, I went ahead and labeled this, and you can see the inside and up happen here. You can also see that price came right into that level, okay, on close yesterday. And now you can see that price is bounced up a little bit, right? 35 to 53, not a bad bounce play. It's really not that hard. You just got to be patient and you have to wait. So what am I looking for today? Well, I'd really like to see that yesterday's low stays intact. I don't want it to go underneath here. All right, so for a longer play, I'm happy as long as this low is not being taken out. And I'm looking for a move into at around this point right here. 31.49 is my first stop. It's also confluent with the 9, okay, the 9 EMA on a daily. And then above that, 3200. Bigger picture, this is lower on the curve. When I say lower on the curve, you can see here, these are standard deviation moves, okay? And they all look alike, don't they? Well, now prices move down here, okay? And a standard deviation move would put me right back up here at the trendy edge around 3,400. That's the bigger picture as long as we can hold this low in here. Okay, that's the bigger picture. This low here. Shorter term, I don't want it to take out yesterday's low. If it does, look for a flush and then a reclaim. The bigger move can happen over the trendy edge, which is over 3073. Let's go ahead and go over here to Facebook. Facebook's a little bit different. Okay, it's over here at 274. It's just up a little bit. Let's go ahead and look at it pre-market. Okay, you can see the 9 EMA is in control. Very straightforward. All right, medium support 272.5 by 267.87. If it dips in here, look for it to go bid. It doesn't have to. So if it continues down, just leave it alone. Let it mellow in the yellow. If it starts to wrap around and break over this 9, I'm looking for a long. However, notice what I put here. This one's a little bit trickier. We have resistance right above. So this is more of a, take profits very quickly. All right, just to be careful or trim into these levels. So I'd be careful right as price approaches 278 and a quarter. I'd be trimming. That's just me. I'm not sure I'll even take this trade, but I wanted to present the blueprint. All right. I like it better over the trendy edge at around 281.85. Let's go ahead and look at Apple. Okay, here's Apple. This is what we call AC/DC setup. I like this, but it really has not moved since yesterday. It's just kind of going sideways. Notice that the 9 EMA on the 4 has been reclaimed, but we do have resistance right above. This is kind of like Facebook. What's the easier trade here? I like to do something like this. Let's just say that I cannot control myself and I want to get into the trade. Then right here is starters. Why is this starters? Because we're not sure if this resistance is going to be some hardcore resistance, right? So price could pop into here. Let's say we go fully allocation, right? Full allocation here. And as soon as you start getting excited, you don't know about the trendy edge. This happens to you. We've seen it a million times here in the room. The levels don't lie. Just be careful right in here at around 118 and a quarter. All right. The trade, just like the last three that I've shown you, in my opinion, looks better if we can hold this on the day. All right, so again, we're still range bound between that high that we had on Monday and that 23.6, 38.2 level. It's just a very healthy consolidation level for the bulls. All right. Yeah, cool. When is ZM earnings, Raul? And just make sure. So I shorted Google. I think we made like 160% or so on that. I'm not gonna. Personally, I don't want to trade it at the moment, but if I were to go over it, it's got that same look. It's bounced up here. Resistance is right above at 1771. It looks better above 1772, 30 minutes to an hour. Okay. All right, so ZM is the 30th of November. I'm gonna have to get a little bit closer, Raul, for that. If I'm going to actually take an earnings trade, especially if I'm using spreads, it's going to be very close to the actual date. But here's ZM for you guys, okay? So we're up at 388. Everyone's excited. It closed at 376. It's up a good 12 bucks, right? 12 bucks to a stock like ZM to me is like a dollar point two. Seriously. That's how I think about it. It's a big name, high beta. I'm just looking at 12 bucks and I think, wow, it's popped a dollar too. All right. Now, what I do want to show you is that price, when it pulled back, we always want to know, did it actually come into some sort of support? Is that why we got the bounce? Go over to the left. You can see this big candle here. It did come into support. This is why we get the bounce. At the 4H, just like the rest, you can see the 9 EMA is resistance for now. You can also see right above the 9 EMA, you have an inside and down. These are presenting some very interesting setups because we have two spots of resistance right now. It's almost as if I should be waiting for another day for this consolidation to happen. What's most likely going to happen is a lot of traders, what they end up doing is speculating. Things start to chop on them. They start losing that theta, right? Theta starts going against them, or I should say losing that premium. And then right before, right, you get shook out, and then the next 2 days it might rip. A lot of people, if you're taking trades on a Wednesday, I like to just keep an open mind. Remember, I teach you how to use the delta and your stops to get a nice estimate on how much you can lose. A good trader thinks about how much they lose, not how much they win. Okay? If you can accept the loss, you can take a trade, you can execute, you'll become a better trader slowly over time. So in this case, let me just give you an example. Yesterday, ZM, if I'm just looking at weeklies, okay, this is not something that I would recommend on a big stock like this because the premiums are high, but let's just talk about it. So the delta, let's just look at the 400 strike, was a delta 35, okay? So roughly, not including overnight risk, you're looking at $35 of loss for every dollar it goes against you, okay? Plus or minus a little bit, right, for the other Greeks, but that gives you a nice estimate. So if your stop is about $5 today and you take a delta 30, you could lose up to, right, about 100. $1,520. All right, let's go ahead and look in the video. I just want to throw a little shout out there again. I love the Peloton, the Piton, right? I keep calling it the Piton. Everybody's like, "What the hell are you talking about, John?" Like my neighbors and stuff. I'm like, "I got the Piton, man." And it's great. But I messed up last night, and I wrote again to show my daughter. I was like, "Hey, check this out. You should do this." And what's cool about it is it keeps you committed. Like I'm like, dude, are people watching me? They see that I started. I can't quit, and it's like 10 something at night. I keep writing until the finish. Once again, I got to take another shower, and what happened is my endorphins went way up, right? And I literally, guys, I'm not kidding with you. I did not fall asleep until after 2:30 this morning. 2:30. Literally, I just went to bed not too long ago. Yeah. Definitely FOMO on that bike, man. All right, so Nvidia, same story, Raul. You can see it came into the green box. We've had these levels for quite some time. You can also see that when it came down to the trendy edge, it worked very well. You can also see that it came into resistance. There is a 9 EMA, looks like just like the other charts. Okay, stay patient today. Let it bounce around. I think that the market's going to show you which way it wants to go. Does it want to break out of this consolidation? If it does, most likely what you're going to see is a price movement above these 9 EMAs, above these resistance points. I know you have the scripts looking for price to move up into the inside and down, roughly here at or around, let's be safe, around 544. Okay. CHGG. Yeah, and if you guys have a stock you want me to look at now, let's go ahead and do that. All right, so we got CHGG. Anytime we have a big pullback, what's the first thing we do? We want to go to a higher time frame, right? So we're going to go to a higher time frame. We want to know on the higher time frame, are we coming into an area of support before I go to a lower time and want to take this trade? Well, you can see that price is lined up just around this area. There is support. There's a nice little move out of here. So I would expect for right now 63.76 to be some of that mid support. If it breaks down below there, then your next support level is going to be right about right there. So if we want, we can create a box. You can create an alert. And give me 1 second here. There we go. At or below. And you put a note in here coming into support. Okay, and support is really interesting. I feel I cracked the code on support. A lot of people want to take it. That's called like catching a fallen knife. Me, I just want to wait, and when it reclaims the level, it shows me buyers have stepped in. A lot of people have actually spent lots of money. I won't say different programs out there, but I know traders who literally spend up to $500 a month for the same thing I'm telling you. The difference is they get all impressed by these like cute little colors and things like that. But literally, all you got to do is identify it. It's for free, right? We identify it, then wait for the reclaim. That lets you know buyers are in there. All right. So here we are, 63.76, 58.60. If we get that move, look for it to come up into the weekly, back up to about 73. All right, Tesla, nice little move here, 414 to 417 this morning. Little gap up. Let's go to a 5 minute, right? Let's see if we can scalp this thing. So what I'm going to do is take the line in the sand. Matter of fact, this time I'm gonna do a little bit different. I'm gonna do the gap up to the pivot high, and we can see here it's starting to bid around the 50. All right. I'm interested in Tesla if it can get back over 416.25. 416.25. All right. Or a opportunity at the line in the sand, 410.36. Those are your two major levels. Okay. Everything between is just noise. ONEM. Nice little gap up. Gap ups, you know this one. NC. Boom. Right there. Looks good. Starters about 35.23. Adds about 36.66. Everything between is noise. A trend break around 34.34. Let's go ahead and see. Is this all-time high or not? No, not even close. All right, cool. So on a higher time frame, actually, man, did you ask me about this one yesterday? These are two good names, man, you've shown me so far. Yeah, this looks really good. So your range right now is right in this level here. Okay. So this is lower on the curve. You can see that we're building and inside and up here. It's at 35. I like 38.72 for right now, as long as 32.16 holds. Okay. And yes, I know we're at 35. So if we come over here to a 5 minute, okay, just use that gap up methodology from the line in the sand and those numbers I just gave you. Okay. Let's look at Yeti. So we had a nice ad on that, and then I trimmed for 50%. And you can see here, it's just, bid and ask, 55.70 by 56.70. Okay. Bigger picture came lower to the curve, the trendy edge, and then pushed up. Okay. So again, nice ad for us. I believe this one has like 100 days or so, right? Looks pretty good. But here's the thing, on the weekly, when we notice an inside candle, I don't expect price to get over 58 this week, 58.80. Okay, just so you know, I would much rather see an inside candle, and then next week see an inside and up. All right, just like that. That'd be a true breakout. And then we would flag in here 2 to 4 weeks. Do something like this, and then the breakout here. I believe Yeti's a really good stock. Am I putting all my eggs in it? No. Yelp was something I'm kind of kicking myself in the butt this morning. I was going to take it yesterday. Um, Remember, I think I actually brought this up to you guys, didn't I? Did I put this on one of our, I can't remember. But anyways, the YE is our target for right now, 31.35. It's at 29.25. Let's go over here really quick. I actually want to put this one in the room as a possible scalp trade. So nice consolidation right in here. You can see that. Okay. I'm going to measure from the line in the sand right here. Okay, red in here, mellow in the yellow, just like that. All right. And then again, you want to identify over here this high. Okay, I'm going to make it like this. All right, so starters in this area, ads above here. I like this for an equity trade. Okay, and then going back, give me 1 second here. There we go. And we're going to go back to this 5 minute. There we go. Now we got ourselves a blueprint. So I'm looking for 31.34, starters here, ads above 30.14, looking for 31.34. Okay, let's go ahead and look at TDoc. Same thing on all these gap ups. I want you guys to use your scripts. Okay, that line in the sand. Identify your bull channel. Look at the pre-market high, and you know what to do from there. Okay. All right, inside and up, right into this level on TDoc. See that, B Daddy? So yesterday, this is what's hard for people. I want you to understand this. Please listen up. We only got 5 minutes. I'm going to stop here in 2 minutes. A lot of these formations, they're really easy to remember, right? Identify that level. And what happens a lot of times on a small pullback is they come right into that level and they put you on the fence. You're like, well, it's coming into the level, but we're going overnight, and I'm scared to hold overnight. You need to find a strategy where you're not scared to hold overnight. That might be using spreads, using lower delta options, something. All right, smaller allocation so that you can get your feet wet, take that trade because it came into that level, and then you wake up very happy. Okay. So down, pushes up a couple bucks. Let's go over here to the 5 minute. Same thing. Like I said, identify your bull channel. Okay. And then from here, 189 is target. But before that, just be careful at around 182. Am I talking too fast for you guys? All right. Let's see what BA is doing really quick. Just got a few minutes here. Yeah, remember BA, I mean, for me, it's just consolidation after a big move. I'm more impressed if we can get over these highs. Okay, just like that. And I believe GS also, this is one of our trades. Um, it had a small gap up here. It's looking better earlier this morning. I believe they had an upgrade. Might watch some PayPal. All right, so we're going to take it over here to the ES futures. We're about to open up here in 3 minutes. We're going to take it to a 5 minute. I've already given you the bigger picture. All right, and so here on the 5 minute, we're going to watch the PMZ. That's this box right there. All right, and this is called a positive negative. Price is above the list, but underneath the PMZ. Bulls need above the PMZ. If not, then I would expect price to drift down into this VWAP for a potential bounce. If that doesn't happen, then look for the line in the sand. Those are the higher probability trades for right now. Okay. And yes, good luck, everyone. And I'll check back in with you. I'm going to monitor from my other platform over here, and then you'll know if I took any trades. Don't forget to look at trade plans. Again, I was up until 2:30 last night, so I busted out some charts, put like 7 or 8 charts out there, something like that. So take a look at those blueprints. All right, so as you can see, again, the higher probability trade was to the downside on this positive negative. See if we get down here into the VWAP. All right, so far we're almost close to the VWAP and trying to find a bid, but we'll see. We want to see if this thing go inside and up. What I'm showing so far is a little bit of resistance, possibly something like this, and we'll see if it can hold here. If not, then I would expect right in here around these arrows for support. Okay. let's take a look, man. I should uh I should do a BYOT, Casey. Bring your own trade, right? And then we trade. Bring your own trades. Just like bring your own beer, right? All right, there's that VWAP. So far showing a little bit of support. I went ahead and jumped in some ABBV, just some shares for right now. And you guys can see that right here. Okay, there you go. Bought some NT yesterday. And this is November 11th. A little bit of ABBV. And then I bought some Bud. Not the kind of Bud you guys are probably thinking of. Remember, let things settle out today. Like I said, it's going to be a little bit of sideways action here. And you can see it's coming in around the VWAP. So really just be careful. Take starters. And then what we'd like to see is a move over these highs. And then we can add into positions. And if for some reason we move down here, on the starters, you're still not concerned if we can hold right in here. Okay. And then when we back it up and you take a look here, take off some of this real quick, just like that. You can see we're just slowly building it inside and up here. All right. So to calm the nerves, bring it into a higher time frame, just relax, let it do what it's going to do.